right, everyone. Welcome to Rhythm and Roads Christmas, December 1st. We have a special guest, Jason Grant. His new album, self-titled, which I'm actually a fan, brother. I gotta say, it's really good work.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Your voice, bro, it's just very chill. I was like, dang, this gentleman right here is a really great artist. So,
Thank
welcome
you.
to Rhythm and Roads, sir.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, sir, when you and I first met was where did we first meet at? It was at the wasn't that the that place you took me to where the artists go
Yeah,
and what is it called?
Sunset Parlor. A quick plug for the Sunset Parlor. It's a brand new venue where they're open to lots of different types of art.
Oh, right,
Music,
right.
one of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and that's one thing about El Paso is that like you said, I'm glad that the community is actually helping other artists to get
Yeah.
discovered, to be listened to just get their voice out and their music. So I'm glad that you took me there because it was actually a cool experience to meet a lot of great artists, a lot of great different directors, producers, actors, you name it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. The great thing about El Paso is it really embraces the artists, you know,
yes,
across the gamut, talking like all art, not just music.
right.
It's real artist friendly community.
Yes, I totally agree. Yes. So, brother, let's go into your album, your self-titled album, Jason
Yeah.
Grant, which you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Music, all streaming services.
Yep.
I do want to ask, what inspired you just as an artist yourself to get to where you're at? Like, how did you start as a musician? Who inspired you? Was there family that were musicians? I mean, how did you get to where you're at and singing, playing guitar, all that?
Well, we had a lot of music in the house, but I don't feel like there was a lot of musicians
Okay.
in the house, but we were a real music friendly household, like listening to all genres.
Oh,
I
nice.
always say that I was the kid on the school bus that no matter what radio station was playing, I knew all the words to all the songs.
No
And
way,
it
really?
was always, yeah, there's one story where when we were on our way to school one time, and I don't know what was going on, but I wasn't singing, and someone asked me if I was okay because I wasn't singing.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, but later on,
That's funny.
I remember at a young age, I would beat on tables and I would, flick cups just to see
Oh
what
yeah.
vibration, the sound that it made. I was
Yeah.
real interested in sound. And I was kind of a weird, introverted kid. And, that's how I learned. I was always fascinated by just music in general. And then a friend of mine that, not spoiler, but just, a warning, sad story warning. I had a friend that took his own life, and I think I was a freshman in high school,
Oh wow.
and he wrote a poem, and I took the poem and wrote music
Hmm.
around it. I barely knew how to play guitar, and I just did what I was feeling, and that's what started it all. And then when my grandpa passed away, I did the same thing, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened up, and I just started writing music.
Wow. Okay, so by having these losses inspired you to write how you felt, which inquired like new songs and things you were kind of like, I guess going with the, I guess discovering it, right? Discovering your passion and how you felt, but turning it into music, right?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
music therapy. It was very therapeutic for me. It allowed me to self reflect and get into
Mm,
my feelings, and it still does. Clearly, yeah, that's why the album's self titled. It's very personal, but
mm,
um, it helps me to move through what I'm feeling. So that's
yeah.
yeah,
And as I was listening to a lot of your songs on the album, it does reflect a lot of how you're feeling. I mean, through just the aspects of life, relationships. So, what inspired you to write these songs for this album? And was it based on your losses, or was it more relationships, or just your own journey in life of your
it was uh,
experiences?
it was definitely like relationships. So
Yeah.
um, you get into like a long term relationship and then it ends and there's like this sense of death, right? Like
Mm,
this sense of loss.
yeah.
And so like I sort of put myself in, I needed to get through that. And so I I was thinking about it, all relationships. You're sometimes even your close family isn't right for you.
Mm,
And the story of the album is, if you notice, I don't know if you noticed or if I told you about this, but it's a story. So you start from the beginning, it's pretty happy. Like the first song starts with "Enjoy the
oh,
Ride,"
yeah,
which is
yeah.
like introduction of a relationship. I'm just gonna enjoy myself and ignore the red flags. and then um and then it successively gets darker.
Mm,
And then the very last song is very different from the other songs, and it sort of represents the emergence of this new person that you are,
wow.
based
Okay.
on your support group that you have around you. I'm sorry, my cat is just going crazy right now.
No worries.
But yeah, it's sort of like,
Like a
and
story from
it's a
beginning to
story.
end. Yeah.
It's the whole thing is a story.
Wow. Yeah.
Get out of here, man.
And I gotta say, the Enjoy the Ride is, you as you can probably tell, it's actually one of my favorites.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, dude. It's very cool the way, even that part that I guess it's a bridge. I'm not sure what part of that, where you just start, you're saying some words, but it's very low, and then you just kind of get into it. And
At the very end, yeah.
it's kind
So
of
the
towards
outro,
the,
I guess.
yeah, it's kind of towards the end, but you kind of like say some stuff real low, but
Yeah,
yeah, but I'm
real
like,
fast.
yeah, but it's real fast. Like that dude, that part I love, like rocking out to. I mean, it's not really rocking out, but more like I get into it. I'm like, dang, this part's I love a lot. You know what I mean? It's really cool.
Josh, are you a songwriter?
No, I've been my dad, he's a songwriter. My brother, a musician, and I kind of grew up in with musicians. But I also have an ear for certain things that just catch my attention quick. Where I just like
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked.
yeah, when I hear just even that little part that I mentioned, I think I actually 2 days ago posted your photo and I had that part just playing.
Oh, yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah,
It was perfect.
yeah, and I
It
think
was
in that,
perfect for the
yeah.
for
So when I
the
was
like
for,
you're promoting it.
yeah, yeah, and I was like, but see that part, it's just cool because I love that where it's just more like you're kind of like telling us something, but more like whispering it, but you're more like being secretive, but you're like, it's more for me to know. If you get it, great.
It
If not, oh well,
That's
but
exactly right.
you know what I mean? And I was just like, damn, that's
Do
I
you know
wish
the
I could do
word?
so. No, I don't, because you were like, I don't want to do it,
Yeah.
but
It's
you know me. Go ahead. Yeah.
it's the opening of the eyes, like the whole song is like this pleasing, now that we're together and so happy,
Right, right.
and then it's like this revelation at the end, and the words are stomach drops, roller coaster won't stop,
Oh
motion
yeah,
moves
yeah.
with
There you go.
motion. Yeah.
That sounds familiar. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but the way you sing it, bro, and then the guitar jamming out to that, it's like, dude, it's bro. That's a good part. I love it.
I appreciate that.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
how you figured that out, but it was like, man, that was on point.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but yeah, that. So with that, so yes, from that point, that's why I don't know if you saw the video I created with that song, "Enjoy the Ride,"
I
because
did.
they were on
It was cool.
motorcycles. It was like couples, just kind of enjoying their beginning, the chapter of a new relationship, a new,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but yeah.
That's the feel of it. It really captured the feel of it.
So with the song "Enjoy the Ride," was it like or when you wrote that song, were you thinking of your first time with your current girlfriend, or past, like what, like the new chapters you've been through, or what?
Well, I don't know if this is ironic, but it was actually about, I was in a band called HEMA, and we were doing pretty well in
Oh,
Portland,
really?
Oregon.
Okay.
And the beginnings of that song, when the Bones started, the band actually broke up.
Oh, no way.
And so the when that song, when I was inspired to write the song, it was about the band actually breaking up, and I
Oh,
was reflecting on how much fun we had had, and the ups and downs, the
yeah.
trials and tribulations of because when you're in a band, you're in a relationship with at least three other people or two other
Oh,
people, and
yeah, of course. Yeah.
you're trying to maintain this cohesive relationship with four different egos and personalities, and
Yeah.
um, so yeah, and then and it just that song just fit the the arching feeling of what I wanted the album to be like. So I
Okay.
started the album with it.
Wow. Okay. So wow, I didn't know you were in another band prior.
Yeah, I was in a bunch
Were
actually.
you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was in a bunch. Yeah, I played in a band called Elucid Onset as well, where I played keyboards and sang background vocals and played percussion and guitar. And
Dang, dude. That's cool. So
uh,
you've been in how many bands? Like three, four, or more?
notably, I've been in three,
Three?
but I've
Okay.
been in a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. And
anytime I make a bio or something, I mention those bands because they were fairly successful, not hit makers or anything like that. But we toured and we performed a lot. We were on the radio, and
really? Dang, are you
yeah.
serious? Dang. So is this you guys' music? Did you ever record any tracks?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of Elucid Onset and Hema. You can find those on all the streaming services as well. It's very different than what I do. So
Oh, okay. But I mean, were
yeah,
you singing on these tracks?
I was the front man of Hema,
Okay.
but that's like so. Once I got frustrated with being a front man. There's a lot of responsibility
No, yeah, I get you.
being a front man.
Yeah,
I wanted to be the background guy for a while, and that's when I joined them. And they were my friends. Elucid Onset, they were my great friends. They still are. I consider them my brothers. I consider all of them
yeah,
my brothers. I love them. They're when you're in a band, you form a bond that it's just different
yeah.
than all your other friends. There's just something that you shared.
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't been in a lot of bands of just for myself, but I mean, I just the band I was in, I did create a lot of friendships. I mean, just them and then people I met through the journey. So yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Now, for you as an artist, what bands have inspired you of artists that are musicians to write music?
I'm multi-genre. I like everything. In the house, we had. Now, I remember as a kid, we would listen to a lot of the Beatles.
Mm,
But like any patriarchal represent, my mom and dad divorced when we were very young. But
yeah,
we listened to. I mean, genres off the top of the head that were really prominent in the house were 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s pop.
mm,
Um, and we listened to a lot of Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, early Aerosmith. I think actually Aerosmith was one of my favorite bands in the 80s.
really, Aerosmith?
But
Oh man,
yeah, and a lot of R&B. Like we were a New Edition family. We listened to New
no
Edition a lot.
way, New Edition.
Later on, Boys to
Oh,
Men. I was a huge
yeah,
Boys to Men.
yeah.
Tom Petty was a huge influence. And then biggest influence I would say was Chris Cornell,
Mm,
Soundgarden and
hmm.
Temple of the Dog and eventually Audio Slave and solo work. He was probably the biggest influence of mine.
Really? Okay.
When people ask me what my genre is, I say Tom Petty, Chris Cornell, and Boys to Men. Just mesh those guys
Oh
together.
yeah, dude. I did. Oh, that's cool.
If they were all in a band together, that's what my music was inspired by.
Nice. That's cool. So your album actually is like, I mean, would you ever consider a little bit of an R&B kind of the beats of that for another album? Kind of like to get that whole side of that.
Yeah, yeah. I've considered making R&B beats, but my friend James is a huge R&B fan, and he sometimes ribs me about being a white guy doing R&B. So,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, look at what's his name. I don't know if you consider it R&B, but Robin Thicke.
Oh yeah,
Remember he brought out that album Sex Therapy?
yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
does. Yeah, and he's got a good voice too. And then
Yeah.
remember John B.
John
Back in
B.
the this was the '90s. He was sort of like sounded like Babyface.
Oh yeah, Babyface. Okay. Or around
I
that.
think
Yeah.
he did pretty well.
Yeah, he did good.
It's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot, but
You can do it. You can do it, dude. I
maybe I'll
believe
try.
in you. Yeah.
We'll do one song and then I'll run it by you, and then if you give me the thumbs up, I'll do it.
Right. That's funny. I do want to go back to your album. So tell me kind of more of the journey of what songs inspired you just to write it, like what you were going through at the time, either some dark times or but personal. I don't know if I mean if you don't feel like sharing too personal stuff, but whatever you can share. That way the
Yeah, probably
viewers
won't get too specific, but
yeah, no problem.
So the journey of the song is, so the first song's Enjoy the Ride, and then
Right.
that's the beginning of a relationship, and you notice some red flags, but you're having such a good time and there's so much compatibility
You
that
overlook
you just
that.
kind of overlook it. And then the second one is a little more personal. It's like specific to what I was going through, and it is that it is the red flag. And even though it
Mm.
sounds happy,
Hmm.
um, it's done on a ukulele, and it's a happy sounding song, but it's the I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship or you had a friendship with someone that knows all the answers, quote unquote, knows all the answers.
Oh, so yeah.
And after a while you get to the point where you just don't want to even talk anymore
Mm.
because
It just
you just
yeah.
so that's what that song is about. It's finding the specific red flag where you feel it's stifled,
Mm.
but you're still happy. That doesn't make the relationship, whether it be romantic or friends or family,
Okay.
it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It
Right.
just means that this is something that you need to think about. Then the third thong. I
The
got a lisp
thong,
all of
bro. You got the thong song?
um, song. There you go. It's the R&B song I'm
I
gonna
know,
do.
right? Yeah, there you go. Hey, that's a good title.
Um, and then the third one is it's called That's Enough.
Mm.
Um, and it's sort of about, you know, I'm tired of this. I've had
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And then the one after that is after a relationship sort of fizzles out, there's always one person that, takes it harder than the other or
Oh yeah.
goes about it in a way where you just like, we can salvage
Yeah.
the remainder of our cohesiveness as
Hmm.
friends or whatever.
Right.
We could still be, but it's also very personal and specific. It's, you both make mistakes. One person makes more mistake than
Yeah.
the other. And, but the other person just completely wipes you clean from your life. It's called Erase Me.
Hmm.
And it's like, they delete all the pictures from social media. They block you. They don't,
Oh,
and
damn.
yeah, it's called Erase Me. And then the one after that is called This Could Be Me. So This Could Be Me was written by a friend of mine.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and and I think it's about something very different to him. Shout out Ryan Aiello. Yeah, I know you're gonna watch this. You're very supportive.
There you go.
Um, and it's my favorite song that we played in Lucid Onset.
Okay.
And I think that he may have thought of something different when he wrote it. But for me, it's about self-reflection, and I can't believe that I did this. I can't believe that I was this person in this relationship.
Mm,
And so that represents the guilt that you feel through your mistakes
mm,
in the relationship.
yeah.
And it's probably my favorite song, and it's like that's sad because I didn't even write it, um, but it's probably my favorite song
Okay.
on there. Well, yeah, I'd say second favorite because the one after that is like the so after you get done with your self reflection
Uh-huh.
and you move through your processing,
Oh yeah.
getting over a relationship, then what the remainder, everybody that's around you,
Mm,
is your support group.
yes.
Those are the people that they're like, I see you for who you are. I love
Mm-hmm.
you for who you are, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what your part was
Mm-hmm.
in the end of this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I care about you and I know who you are as a human being. And I want
Okay.
to support that growth. I want to
Yes.
support that development of this human being that you're meant to be. And
Yes.
it's called My Hero. And of course, the current relationship that I'm in was a huge inspiration for it. But
Oh,
also,
okay.
like, yeah, also, like, I was thinking about family members and friends that were just like, I support you and I love you
Mm,
no matter what. I support
yeah.
you and I love you. And so that's the journey of it. It's beginning of a relationship, the downfall of a relationship, self-reflection, and ultimately what the remainder is who you're supposed to be.
Wow. Thank you for that timeline. That's really cool. Of just everything
I
you
didn't think I was
just
going to do
were
that. I
going
didn't think I
through.
was going to be
No,
so
that's
so
cool. Yeah.
specific.
Because I mean, when you think about it, that could reflect to a lot of other songs too, of just what we listen to, like because we also have our own soundtrack, everything we've listened to from the beginning of new relationships, new chapters of something. When we have some hardships, we put on another song that we listen to that goes around that time of our life. And then
Yeah,
when we go through, like you said, towards the end of it, where it's kind of more reflection, we have another song we might have played at that time. So, you know what I mean? So every bit of what you
hmm
shared can reflect in a lot of songs that from other artists. But yeah, with yours, that's really cool that you actually, I want like, I'm just going to ask maybe in the future if you write another one, but would you ever consider putting like chapter one, that's why it's like a story chapter three, you know what I mean? It just keeps going down.
yeah,
That way you could be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
these are like a,
Like I like to keep themes,
yeah,
and
yeah,
if I'm putting together a body of work, if I'm putting together a body of work, I like it to be thematic. I
yeah,
like to have like this, like you said, we all use music for healing
yes,
and for therapy. That's what you
right,
do, like you're stressed out, doesn't matter what genre.
right,
You put
right,
those headphones on and you're in a zone.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that was sort of the inspiration behind like having a body of work actually that tells this
yeah.
story. And everybody's been through this, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Everybody goes through
everyone,
it.
yeah,
And and if it resonates with someone,
yeah,
I wasn't actually going to tell the story of, but I'm glad I did. It's
yeah. I'm
kind of
glad
that's
you did. Yeah.
therapeutic, letting you know what the process was.
No, yeah, no. I'm actually glad you did because we're going into your album. We're actually understanding your album and giving us the behind the scenes of each chapter of it. So that's cool. I like that. So
Yeah,
the end of it, the last song, like you said, it's more of the I guess where everyone's there and they're supporting you and all that. And so at that point in that, like at that era of that song, or just the end of the album, where there be that when you're not looking, it happens. You know what I mean? And then that person is the one that's for you, that was always meant for you. But then you had your family, you have your friends supporting you through it, but all of a sudden you're not looking and oh, there she is.
it actually says that in the song.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. It says you don't choose your heroes; they naturally value and empower.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't
Wow.
choose it;
Yeah.
it chooses you. You know.
Yeah. And it's true. And I gotta say, it's very true. I have never ever experienced it until now.
Really?
When you're not looking and it happens. Yep.
Well, congratulations.
Ah, I know.
Congratulations. I'm happy
Man.
for you. There's
Well,
nothing better.
yes, there's nothing better. And then I just got to say that yeah, it's because I've always been told that. So that's why your songs, like you were mentioning, it actually reflects me a bit. I was like, damn, that's like taking me back to what I was going through a while back. But yeah, and then towards the end, it's more like, yeah, when you're not looking and you have your friends and I have my family and I was doing me, focusing on my growth and all that. And then you got to that point where you're just like, okay, I'm ready. And if it happens, it happens. And you let go,
Yeah.
you don't focus on that. You just let go. You continue focusing on what you got to do and being with your friends, family, and all of a sudden, boom, it just happens. You're just like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
So
You know what
dude,
I think of it as? It's
ah,
like you sort of embrace you embrace yourself. You know what I
yes,
mean? It's
yes,
I know it's a cliche, but they're like you can't love anybody else until you learn to love yourself.
that's true.
And
Yeah,
it's um and that's sort of what happens. It's sort of like this is you know regarding the album, it's like this is what I went through. This is what I put them through, um, and this is who I become
yes,
from it.
right,
And then a lot of people don't take the time to self reflect and really blossom from their experience before they jump into a new relationship. And
yeah,
that's how patterns develop, right?
right, right,
So, like you jump from lily pad to lily pad to lily pad, but you don't have time to grow. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't have time to like self reflect and really like blossom from the experience.
right,
And I think that that's what happens is like you take the time, you change,
right, yeah.
and you break this cycle, you break this pattern, and then it finds you after that.
Yeah. No, that's true. Very true. Good words there, sir. Thank you. I find it, it is true that if patterns, you always see those patterns, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then you come to that point where you're just like, you know what? That's enough. You like how I added that in there. Yeah.
Shameless plug right there.
Yeah, you put that's enough. You don't want to go through it anymore. It's a cycle, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
You
So
clip the cycle.
I during one of your the promotions we did for you, you mentioned you might have a surprise to share to everyone of something.
Unfortunately, I can't share that surprise yet.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
All right.
I reached out, but
Okay.
stay tuned. I will definitely, once I can share it, I'm gonna plug Rhythm and Roads podcast when I can share it. So
Dude, yeah. I was actually looking forward to hearing it, bro. I was like,
yeah,
I
I
wonder
know,
what the surprise is.
I know. Well, it
But
has to do with being embraced with the community. I can say that much. And I
oh,
and
really? Okay.
that's the beauty of I've only been here for about less than 3 years. It'll be 3 years in February, and I've met some wonderful people, yourself included.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Um, and I just really feel like the puzzle piece. I really started to fit in when we moved here.
Yeah, hearing your story of how you moved out here and then here to El Paso, but to the fact that just so much people have embraced you, the businesses, wineries, I mean, it's just
Yeah,
other artists, it's just amazing, like in the time frame. And that's really
yeah,
that's like awesome, man. I'm really happy for you that you're really going far in just your talent, just voice, guitar. I mean, man, your new album, self-titled
thank
album.
you.
Yeah. I mean, do you have another album coming out though, or like in a future
Yeah,
project?
I've got a lot of songs written for a new project. I've always got something going through my head. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's always
Yeah, new
I
songs
got ADD.
developing.
I'm pretty sure I have ADD. but but I've always got this churning going on. The beauty of I should say that um, the beauty of being here is I've said this before on a podcast, but the beauty of El Paso is there really, there's I don't see a competitive thing.
Mm,
I've heard that it is competitive, and
hmm
I've heard story. If you're like you've been in the community for a long time, um, opportunities. There's more opportunities, but
hmm
every musician that I've met, every venue, every yourself, like every podcast, artists just seem to want to nurture another artist here,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that so much, and it's so inspiring that it just makes me want to keep going.
Oh
I've got a
yeah,
new
brother. Yeah.
guitar. I mean,
Yeah, I mean that, and I'm glad that some of El Paso or majority of El Paso is like that, where they want to embrace new artists, help those grow. So yeah, I totally agree.
I've just met very few. I've come across very few venues and artists that don't want to help.
Mm,
There's been some times where there were some road bumps,
yeah.
but very few. It's just it feels organic here. Feels like
Yeah.
everybody wants to help.
Nice, man. And I take it you're going to be staying probably for a while in El Paso, right?
I can no comment on that. I
Oh,
want
okay.
to.
Yeah, because I know our last conversation, so I know you want to get into it that, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as we're coming to the close of the podcast, what can you say to those that want to write music, that want to get into and to learn a guitar, sing, or just because I know you have your own little studio setup, right, at the house?
Yeah, got a little. I recorded that whole album in my bedroom.
Oh,
Oh, I
wow.
should
Okay.
actually, since we're talking about the album, I got to give a shout out to Gabe
Yeah,
Gonzalez. I don't know if you know who that is. Do you
I
know Gabe?
don't. No, I don't.
Gabe works for Star City Studios. I think he works for a lot of different studios down
Oh,
here
okay.
on the west side.
Nice.
Um, Gabe helped me with mastering, and he also was the only other instrumentalist on the album. He actually played drums on 2 tracks.
Oh, that's
Real
cool.
live, yeah. Like we played live drums at the studio and on two
Nice.
tracks. And I just want to give him a big shout out for that because
Yeah, man. There you go.
he breathed life into the whole album. The
Nice. Okay.
concept was mine, but he he Pinocchioed it. He put life into it.
Pinocchio, dude. Funny reference, dude. All right. That's cool, man. I mean, but yeah, so coming to the end of it of this podcast, I mean, what words do you want to share to those that are listening to or the viewing this that want to become an artist, that do want to have the voice, that do have the talent in playing a guitar or but they're just kind of, I don't know, I don't want to get out there. I don't know, they might like it. You know what
Yeah, my advice to anybody that if it's a passion
I mean?
for you, if you want to be a singer-songwriter or play an instrument, um, time, commitment, and don't look over the fence.
Mm.
Don't reference, don't like look at somebody and be like, well, they're too good, so I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up. You have a voice, you
Right.
have your own unique
Yeah.
fingerprint, your own stamp that you put on things. And
Mm.
it doesn't matter what level you're at. If you put time and commitment into it, you will get the therapeutic value out of it. And I promise.
Wow, dude. Yeah, that's really good words. And pretty much you're sharing from your own experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can do it, hey, if anyone puts their mind to it and doesn't give up and take action, they can do it.
Passion breeds talent.
That's right, brother. Step out in faith and just do it. And whatever
Yep.
happens, even if you fail, you mess up, get back up, do it. Because, like they say, it's okay to fail because as you fail, you learn about yourself and you figure out what didn't work. And then you go with what works. And then you get to the point of like more growth. And you're like, oh, now I'm at a different level. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if you stay just like, okay, I tried it, I messed up, I guess it's not for me, putting this away, then you just had a roadblock and you just blocked everything off. You know what I mean? So that's the thing I was telling another artist, that fear can also stop you from all that, because fear is like,
Exactly.
oh, I tried it, but then people didn't care for it, and I guess it wasn't for me, and I don't want to do this. But like, no,
Exactly.
like, no, I still feel that passion. I still feel the fire. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go, despite if there was one clap or one person heard it. I'm still gonna do it.
Exactly. There's
Mm.
that quote. I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't remember it word for word, but I have it tattooed on my
Oh, you
arm. It's,
do? Oh, wow.
yeah, experiences don't happen to us, they happen for us. And
Mm.
if you
Yeah.
look at an experience, good and bad, as a classroom, then you'll get what you need out of it to persevere later.
You have all that written out?
No, that's not
Oh,
used but for us on my arm.
I was like, damn, dude. I was like, damn, you have
It's
all
like
that
a
on your arm?
coloring book.
I'll be well, like,
Like the movie
I'll be moving through
Memento.
your arm. Like, let me read that. Hold on. Moving it over.
Pull it up and there's a whole book.
Let's go to the next chapter. Here we go. That's funny. Hey, that's cool though. That was good words right there. Yeah, good stuff. That's funny. Well, thank you, Jason, for coming on the podcast. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing your.
I'm really honored that you had me, Joshua.
Yeah,
This is really a great experience.
yeah, brother. I'm definitely a huge fan of you. I love your voice. I love just the album itself. I look forward to your new projects coming out in the future. I do want to. Hopefully, I'll do my best to come tomorrow. To Zen, right? Zen Winery.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zinvaye, and I do oh,
Yeah.
that's a good plug. I play Artivinos at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Artivinos Desert Crossing,
Okay.
just to be specific. And then I play Zinvaye after that, 1 o'clock until I stop.
Okay. And then if the viewers want to see or actually find you, where can they find you on Instagram, Facebook? I mean, that way they can follow
Yeah,
you.
it's generally if you plug in Jason Grant Music. So if you www.jasongrantmusic.com will give you all of my social media
Okay.
links. And you can also find me on Spotify. I recommend it when you go on Spotify or any of the other streaming services, type in Jason Grant, something familial, and that'll give my previous album. Because there are a lot of other Jason Grants, unfortunately.
Oh, there is. Oh,
Yeah.
I just see your album and I just go to it right away. But I didn't know there was other
Oh,
Jason
really?
Grant. Yeah,
That's a good sign. That means people are
that's
plugging
on
my name in.
Spotify. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
congrats on the Spotify listeners. How many are you at right now?
I'm currently at just under 1,000 listeners, which is pretty good for a local guy.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I had a lot.
yeah. That's
I had a lot of streams this year. Is the most I've ever had.
really congrats on that. Yeah, because I saw you posted, I think a few days ago or yesterday. This listening from Spotify, like it was the chart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
was like I was top 15 or top 10 artists for I think 20 something people
Wow,
or
really?
all over the world. Yeah, and
All
that's
over the world? That's
yeah.
awesome.
For
Wow.
some reason they really like me in Germany. I'm the David Hasselhoff of acoustic guitar
Evil
players.
asshole. That's funny. That's funny, bro. Well, thank you for sharing on where they can find you on social media because yeah, I want our viewers to find you and follow you and go see you if they want to see you. You know what I mean? Like where you're gonna be at. So
I appreciate that.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me on Rhythm and Roads. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have our special guest, Jason Grant, who is on here sharing his new self-titled album, Jason Grant. And also this is the first episode of December 1st. So
Merry
we have
Christmas,
the
everybody.
yeah, we have a whole lot. Well, we have quite a few coming on for this month, but it's going to be a very special month, very intimate month. So this was a great start to start the month with Jason Grant. So all right, guys, we will
Thank you,
catch you.
Joshua.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thank you for watching.